Oprah came out with this special on mental health, and she had an episode with Prince Harry. And so he's talking about how he's had mental health issues and how he's working with a psychologist. And then he demonstrates this technique that his psychologist had taught him that has made a huge difference in his life. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching him, and I realize what he's doing tapping. Now, I learned tapping maybe around 2012, 2013, and I'm just so excited because here's a person with unlimited resources, as far as I'm concerned, has access to the best healthcare, and he is using the same tool that I'm using for myself and for my clients. And I thought, all right, if this is good enough for Harry, there must be something in it. In the 1980s, there was a psychologist. His name was or is Carl Callahan. And he had a client who had this interesting phobia. She was afraid of water. And not just swimming or the ocean, everything about water freaked her out. She couldn't go near a pool, even thinking about water scared her. And they worked together for about a year, trying traditional therapy protocols, and it hasn't really helped. So she knew what her phobia was, she understood it, she could talk about it, but she couldn't go near water. So one day they're having a session by the pool, which I think is kind of cool. Go with your psychologist to the pool and have a session there. So they're having a session and she starts freaking out. At that time, her psychologist was studying acupuncture, and he thought, well, what if I have her tap on one of the acupuncture points as she is in this stress state? So she's in this fearful state, she's next to water, she feels this tension in her stomach, her body is all tense. So he has her tap underneath the eye. And as the story goes, her phobia went away and she was able to walk up to the pool and splash water on herself. So this is after a year of talk therapy and nothing happening. So he thought, oh my God, this is cool, we're onto something. So he came up with a bunch of different protocols. So specific issue, and then there are points that you tap. This is what tapping looks like for each issue. Later on, he had a student. And his student, his name was Gary Craig, he simplified the procedure. So what he found was that you don't need to have a very specific sequence where you tap for each issue that you work with. He came up with one single procedure that works for all issues. And this is what we use today. Why does this work? Well, when we're stressed, when either we're in a stressful situation or we're in a stressful situation or we're thinking negative thoughts or fearful thoughts, the brain sends a signal to the body and the body goes, oh my God, danger, danger, danger. I got to do something. And so all these chemicals get produced, the muscles get tense, the shoulders ride up. And once that happens, there is no way you can think your way out of the situation because it's already below the neck. It's already in the body. So the mind is pretty much useless at this state. So we have to go through the body. And what tapping does is it engages the body and it tells the body that everything's okay right now. You're safe. Nothing to worry about. We don't need to run away. We don't need to fight anything. We don't need to freeze. We can go on with our day. So let me show you how we do the procedure for stress. Even though I feel stressed right now, my mind is busy and my body is tense. I accept how I feel and I'm open to letting some of this go. Simple. The hardest part about it is coordination. So again, even though I feel stressed right now, my mind is busy and my body is tense, I accept how I feel. I'm open to letting some of this go. If you can't remember any of the points, what you can do is tap right here while you're saying your phrase. The negative part about this is that you're tapping in just one spot. So just be careful. If you go like this for 15 minutes, you might give yourself a bruise. So be careful. But even if you do this, this is how I started, because remembering all these 9 points was just too much for me at the time. I started with doing this, and eventually I remembered some of the points. And even if you don't get those points perfectly, it's still gonna work.